Last week, we told you millions of Americans were on the brink of losing access to food assistance through SNAP. And tonight, that brink has become a breaking point. President Trump is defying a federal court order that directed his administration to resume full SNAP benefits. And instead, he's made it clear that he won't release the money until Democrats agree to reopen the government. He released the following post, I guess you can call it. I was going to say tweet, but it's not a tweet. It's a post on Truth Social. He wrote, SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP, in parentheses, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up the government, which they can easily do, not before. Thank you for this. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Is that how he's signing things, President DJT now?
He signs it whichever way he can remember at the time.
He never forgets that. Thank you for this attention to this matter. I feel like he just learned that in office speak once he actually started reading emails. When he became president. And that statement came just hours after his own administration told a federal judge that they would comply with the order to restart the program. The contradiction, though, sent shockwaves through Washington and panic through households, which are already waiting for help. The White House has since clarified that it will comply with the order and will be paying half of November's SNAP benefits from a $4.6 billion emergency fund, but that is only half of what the families typically rely on. And, you know, once that fund runs out, there's really no plan about what comes next. So places from California to Mississippi are stepping in with temporary fixes, doing what they can. A federal judge in Rhode Island ordered the administration to pay the full benefits, saying that withholding them was arbitrary. And lawyers for several states are now back in court arguing that the president is openly ignoring the ruling. Meanwhile, food banks, as you see across the country, report record demand, some calling this unprecedented. Families, seniors, and disabled Americans are turning to community pantries because this federal funding has stopped. So let's be clear. This really isn't about what the president can't do. It's about what he's refusing to do. The court said pay the benefits, and the administration found the money, but the president himself says he won't move until Democrats give him a deal. And that raises a bigger question. What does this tell us about how the next 3 years are going to run? If he has an order, they have the funds to do so, but he's still not listening and claiming that he still wants people to be fed. Like, it seems like smoke and mirrors at this point. He's doing the exact opposite of what he says he wants to do. Ty, what's your reaction to the fact that Trump is not actually giving us any sort of movement on the SNAP benefits issue?
Excuse me. To be honest with you, the point of our system here is that the judicial branch is to have oversight that Trump is actively ignoring. And I think even bigger than, not bigger than, because it's equally as important as the issue on SNAP, this is not the first time Trump has decided that he's ignoring rulings, which is, we use the word unprecedented a lot of times when it comes to Donald Trump and his administration.
Every day is unprecedented, right?
But like at this point, what powers does anyone have to stop Donald Trump from doing whatever he feels like doing? I think that's our biggest issue right now, because there are emergency funds. The SNAP benefits are funded in a way that if there is a government shutdown, that the people who rely on these benefits should not be affected, but somehow they are, because he's using people's hunger to broker a deal, which is not how the president should be operating right now. And the courts agree that the president should not be operating in that manner. However, he's decided to ignore the rulings, and not for the first time. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see how that people will respond, given that it is election cycle, and we will have more elections coming up. People's responses are extremely important right now about what they're going to do about our so-called 3-3-3 system.
Yeah. Dex, I mean, he on one hand he claims that he wants to make sure his administration gets everybody the benefits that they need. And then when he has the opportunity to, because the courts literally said he has the opportunity to, he's only going to give, quote unquote, if anything, he's going to give half. Like the max he's going to give is half. Like how does half become a compromise, a healthy compromise? It's like when someone says, okay, I'll give you $5 for this bike, and they're like, no, you'll give me 10. And then you're like, well, no, I really can only give you 5. No, you'll give me 7. How about that? And they're like, okay, I'll take 7. Like what compromise is that? Like, it's crazy, right? You're muted. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely not a compromise. It's not even an attempt at a compromise, but this is one of those situations where like your hands are kind of tied and you're still doing whatever it is that you can to still show that you have some type of upper advantage here. The thing that's the craziest to me about this is that you put this out there on election day. Like you put this out there knowing that people are going to polls and voting. And like, I don't see how that helps you and the people who you've endorsed in your party. Like that doesn't look good. Nobody is who's on SNAP benefits, who's going out to vote today, is going to be like, well, he's really sticking it to the Democrats because like he told them that he's not going to release these funds that I need to feed my family, so I'm going to go out there and vote for this person that he endorsed. That's not how it works.
While he's building the ballroom.
Yeah, you do something like that, and people are going to look at it sideways, like, "Hey, maybe this is not where I can put my vote." Because at the end of the day, like, I need these benefits, and you can blame it on whoever you want to blame it on or whatever. But right now, the person that we see withholding these benefits is you. You're the one who's doing it. You can flip that narrative and say the Democrats are doing X, Y, Z, so as long as you want to. But when we go on Truth Social, the person who has that post out, they said they're not going to do it after they were told to do it, is you.
And Donald Trump's America First agenda is not looking great. Because this is one of your big things. Like people actively watched you give aid to other nations.
He gave $40 billion, to Brazil.
And lots of it. And that's not the only place we've shared money, but Americans are not allowed to have their benefits. It's very, very interesting. Doesn't look like America First right now. And I wonder if people are still standing behind that slogan and supporting Donald Trump. It's interesting.
Shakima says, does anyone ever ask him about his previous comments about the government shutdown being the president's fault? Absolutely not. Like, no one's going to ask him that. Like, who's going to ask him that?
Because they're too busy.
Who's going to ask him?
They're too busy asking to run for a third term. Like they ask him questions like that are nonsense questions, but yet things that actually make sense, they don't ask that because they know he doesn't want to answer that, and then they'd be ridiculed and kicked out.
What'd you say, Eric? Go ahead.
I said he really doesn't care what the American public thinks. He doesn't care. He's
won. He's won.
He's basically saying, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. There's nothing. It's too late.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Yeah. He's got his second term. He's got his second term. No one has the backbone